What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Do Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. So, you know what? Tuesday morning, Lions Talk Live. You know what? As you can see from the thumbnail for this particular video, not so great news if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Yes, the Lions have been hit with the injury bug, and it seems to have happened overnight in rapid fashion. I know this story came out about 8 p.m. last night, but I was like, I need to spend some time with Jen and not get on the live cast and break it last night. But figured I'd save it for the morning show because we need to dive into that, some pro football focus, grades for the week, and all sorts of different headlines. So with that all being said, hey, gonna go ahead and get on top of things, get this show going, and start off with the 5 headlines now. But before we do, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're closing in on 8,000 subs. Need about 30 more to get there, so if you can help out that would be great. Also, if you would take a half second of time, it's free of charge. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button. Try to get every video between 200 to 300 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you can assist with this would be greatly appreciated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this show going and get over to the first segment of the day, and that is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now, and we got some juicy ones, I feel like, today. All right, let's get going with it. From one of the worst to one of the best. This is from the Detroit News, and this is regards to the Detroit Lions defense. Did you guys know the Lions are statistically the number 4 defense in the NFL? And man, oh man, I didn't think it was possible for the run defense to get better than it was a season ago. But let's go inside the numbers and find out. Lions run defense are only giving up 76.7 yards per game on the ground. That is, one of the best in the NFL, and just a further statement to what this team is built to do. We've all been wondering for some time why James Houston hadn't been playing, not on the floor, et cetera, on the court, I should say, or on the field. And I think one of the reasons, when you analyze what the Lions have done the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, they've gone with a very big, massive front 4, specifically, in my opinion, to stop the running game, to help shut it down. The Cards came into last week. We all know it, man. They've been running all over teams. Connor had been running over people. Murray had been out and about, running around, doing what he does, being basically a video game on the football field, just with his joystick-like moves, his ability to escape, get out, and throw the ball accurately. They're all around the field. The Lions, though, their defense said, we're going to take that away from you. And what have they done every week so far? They've really limited teams. Yes, we also got the information yesterday that Marcus Davenport more than likely is going to be out for the entire season. We're still going to wait and see on that. But what we can say is you can't ever lose something you never had. So basically, we've had Marcus Davenport for one full game and then part of another game. That's really it. So my anticipation, as we talked about yesterday when the news of Marcus Davenport came out, my anticipation is that Levi Onwuzurike will take over that spot. Who knows? Maybe Joshua Pascal. Lions do have some real good depth there, so we'll see what shakes out. But in regards to the Lions defense for this headline, yes, indeed. There's no question about it. The Lions do have one of the best defenses in the league, and they're still developing. We've got some real youth in that secondary. Rakestraw is going to probably be back either this week or after the bye. He's probably going to get a little bit more playing time, would be my anticipation. And I would ask everybody out there, when we're talking about just the defense, name a team in the NFL. Let me rephrase that. Let's see if you can name 3 or 5 teams in the NFL that have clearly a better safety tandem than the Detroit Lions. If you can, throw it in the comments section. But I'm going to say this. I think the Lions are in the conversation for perhaps one of the best young safety tandems in the entire league, and they've got some real good spots on the defense as a whole. So, all right, well, let's move on from that topic now to, screen's flipping out a little bit here. Let me fix it. All right, let's get to the next one, and that's, here's a trade pitch idea. I figured I'd throw it at you guys, although talking about one that makes no sense to me, figured we at least discuss it this morning. Lions trade pitch sends Bills player with, quote, plenty of talent to the Detroit Lions. This is from Heavy, story by Annie Erickson. Originally, when I opened this, I was like, all right, somebody jumping in on what's happened with Marcus Davenport. Lions got to be speculated to pick up a defensive end or something like that. I read the story, and I had to go, not so fast. Kare Elam, if I'm pronouncing it one way or the other, it could be right, could contribute right away. So I was like, man, I've never heard of this defensive end. And in fact, it's not a defensive end. It's a cornerback. And while the cornerback, Elam, has some real talent, some size, etc., I don't foresee the Lions really making a move to add an additional cornerback. I do think they have one of the deepest cornerback groups in the NFL as far as talent from guy 1 to 6. And I will say this, if you check out the Pro Football Focus grades, not that they're the mean all, be all, holy Bible of stuff, but what I can say is the Lions cornerback groups every week keep getting ranked higher and higher. The scores keep getting better and better. I'm sure a lot of that is, hey, they're getting familiar with the schemes. They're getting familiar with the systems. Terrion Arnold is getting better and better like most rookies do. So I don't foresee this happening, but I at least figured I'd throw it at you guys as part as one of the 5 headlines now. But let's move on from that one because, again, I don't see any kind of validity to that, even speculation the Lions trading for a cornerback. But if you guys do, let me know. But I don't see that one in a heartbeat at all. So, yeah, anyways, moving on from that one. All right, so going on to the next one. Oops, hold on. Screen's messing up again here today. So technical issues, I guess. All right, moving on. Laporta, Sewell among highest Pro Football Focus grades against Arizona Cardinals. Sports Illustrated. Christian Boner on this one. Boer, excuse me. So let's go to it. And we all know Frank Ragnow, depending on who you're asking, does the grades. He might have had one of the greatest games in NFL history. So he did have, on some metrics, a 99.9 grade. Let that sink in. Somewhere in the first quarter, he at least partially tears one of his pec muscles and, yes, goes out there and puts up for over 3 quarters a perfect score as far as a player. Pro Football Focus doesn't quite give him that grade. They give him an 89.1, but let's go through the top grades for the Detroit Lions on offense. Penei Sewell, no surprise here, near the top, 84.9. Lions offensive line we talked about against Tampa Bay, they just, for whatever reasons, beat up, hurt or whatever, just didn't play their greatest. They bounced back in a strong way here. Like I said, Penei Sewell, 84.9. Kevin Zittler, just behind at 83.1. Sam Laporta, and to talk about a bounce back game because his grades were at a career low last week against Tampa Bay. But while he did hurt his ankle, did have a sound grade at 82.3. Frank the Tank Ragnow, according to PFF, had an 81.3. Amon-Ra St. Brown, just another guy nearly in the 80s at 79.5. Lowest grades, though, it happens. Some people aren't always the greatest. Graham Glasgow continues to struggle a little bit, but this time, much better than the week prior. He had a 61.0. Jamison Williams, 57.3. Tim Patrick, 52.2. Dan Skipper, 44.3. Parker Hess, 42.5. Now let's go to the defensive side of the ball where Aiden Hutchinson led and paced the team with an 82.2. A little bit down from the week before, but still, man, anything you get into the high 70s, the 80s with their scores means you had a dominant performance. Last week against Tampa Bay, you guys all know he had a 90. But anyways, he had an 82.2. Kirby Joseph, another trip into the 80s, 80.4s. DJ Reader, hey, talk about a good pickup on free agency. Last week he was in the 80s. This week, 73.5. Jack Campbell, a lot of speculation. Is this kid growing? Is he getting better? Just check out the Pro Football Focus scores. And plus, give your own eye test. I thought he played very well last week, to be fair. This week, he was obviously rewarded with that grade of 70.3. Derek Barnes, we all know he's injured. Going to miss some significant time. How long? We don't know. My guess is just from pure speculation, he's going to be out about a month or so, maybe a little bit longer. He also had a 70.0. Lowest pro football grades for the defensive players. Malcolm Rodriguez, I was a little surprised by this because I thought he moved around the field pretty well, so it would be interesting to see why they didn't grade him out higher. But he had a 57.5. Terrion Arnold recorded a career high, and again, it's only been 3 weeks, but he got 52.4. And if you guys were watching the game, I know I came on in the fourth quarter and talked about it when I got things all squared away here. I thought that was easily his best game. He looked like he was playing with some confidence, and on top of it, he left the game early in the first quarter with a knee injury, rode the bike, had to talk the coaches into putting him back into the game because they weren't convinced he'd be able to go. He did, and if you watch him out there, it seemed like he just calmed down. Something about maybe banging the knee or something just got him to calm down, relax. But his hand movements, he clearly got his hands off players more and more, kept up with guys, forced a couple bad throws by Kyler Murray, a couple of overthrows because the Lions, mostly in the second half, not all, but for the most part, did play man-to-man across the board. If you go back and watch the video, I think, man, you talk about a vote of confidence. I mentioned this yesterday when I did my grades on them, but you want confidence from your coach. You want your coach to say clearly, I believe in you. Leave the best offensive player on the field for the other team matched up against you. That's what they did a lot of times with Terrion Arnold. And yes, Carlton Davis also got one-on-one coverage with him and no over-the-top help from a safety. Yeah, that means they believe in you, and that's where we got with Terrion Arnold. He is trending upwards. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Josh Pascal was the next at 41.3. Marcus Davenport, 39.2. Jalen Reeves-Maben, yeah, I was not impressed with his play right before halftime that gave him a free 15 yards, maybe even a field goal out of it, at 32.8. So that will round out your pro football focus grades. Moving on to the next one, Detroit Lions set to debut revamped black uniforms on Monday Night Football. This is from the Detroit Free Press, Jalen Williams. You guys been asking for it. I know everybody's ready to see these new uniforms. Well, Monday night, big game, nation watching. Sounds like an ideal time to reveal them. You're going to be able to watch them there, and I think, man, they look nice. I know a lot of you guys have used them in your thumbnails and stuff. I think the Lions have hit a real home run with this. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Tell us, is the Detroit Lions defense for real? MLive.com, Corey Woods on this one. Probably going to have to do a video on this one, maybe today or tomorrow. Not just 5 headlines, but the Detroit Lions defense. If you guys can think of a unit overall who's playing better this year, let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. My thoughts are, it's hard to go against the Detroit Lions defense, at least being in the top 10 or top 5. I'm not going to sit here and say they're the best unit in the NFL. It's too early in the season. But are you able to limit a team to make them one-dimensional? So far this season, I think the answer is yes. Nobody is running on the Detroit Lions, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. You look at how they're constructed at the front layer of the defense, the second layer, and now the third layer. We all get it. Last year, the team could stop the run. They couldn't do anything against the pass. What are you seeing this year? Yes, the Rams came out and Stafford threw the ball, 49, 50 times to get 300 and whatever it was, like 10 yards passing. You give any quarterback in the NFL, unless they're just a complete nothing, 50 pass attempts, they're probably going to get 300 yards. Now, you also look at how they got that. Everything had to be pre-snap motion and quick outs, quick routes, nothing mid-tier, nothing deep. Mid-tier, we'll say 5 to 8 yards, deep, anything over 10 yards. They had to dink and dunk their way all over the field. And now you go to the next week against Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield had less than 160 yards passing. You look against Kyler Murray. Let's face it, the Cards' offense was stymied. They might have put up 400, nearly 500 yards of total offense the week before against the Rams. They put up 40-some points, but they do that against Detroit. Detroit shut them down. We can all say, man, the Rams were nothing, but they were nothing to the point to come back and win against San Francisco and force overtime against the Lions. So don't be so quick to judge a team early in the season. All right, that's going to conclude the 5 headlines now. So let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, as you guys can tell from the thumbnail, Frank Ragnow going to probably miss some time. And like we talked about with the Pro Football Focus grades, yes, he was out there the vast majority of time playing with the torn pec. So I don't think this is going to be similar to C.J. Gardner-Johnson or other guys in the past, like whoever you want to mention that have completely torn their pecs and had to have them re-surgically attached or done. I think it's a strong testament that Frank Ragnow will probably be back sooner versus later. But this is going to cause some change to the Detroit Lions offense because we all get it. Everything goes through your center. You can't avoid a run or a pass play without going through your center, just like quarterbacks are going to touch the ball on every play. Frank Ragnow is a significant loss, so I wonder who will step over. My anticipation is Graham Glasgow will slide on over to center, where he is probably a lot more familiar at playing than he is a left guard. And then that will create an opportunity for Yodi or somebody like that to step on up off the bench like he did last year. Maybe a Sorsdale could slide over, or maybe they come up with somebody completely different. But make no mistake, this Detroit Lions offense is starting to click more and more. I would love to see them score more touchdowns, but the yardage totals for 2 straight weeks, you've seen the Lions basically get 400 yards of offense or more. Now, can they sustain some drives and get into the end zone? That's going to be the big tell probably going into Monday's game against the Seattle Seahawks. Get the bye, get everybody a little bit more healthy, return for Dallas. Frank Ragnow down for probably a little bit of time. Marcus Davenport probably done for the year. Derek Barnes done for, I'm guessing, a month, maybe a little bit longer. And you do have a number of injuries to other players that we're being told are day to day. How big a deal is this, in your guys' opinion, that Ragnow is going to be down for a time? We all know this guy's a warrior. We all know last year in the playoffs, man, he played with a broken this, that, and the other thing and still kept going. He is the closest thing to a Terminator probably in the NFL. Maybe we shouldn't call him Frank the Tank anymore. Maybe we should call him Frank the Terminator because the guy just keeps going and going and going. You got to beat him down to keep him down. So let's see what you guys have to say on this. We might have Anthony from Roar Lions UK coming over. I haven't confirmed that, but it is Tuesday. Normally comes on. I forgot to message him yesterday. Sorry, with the colonoscopy and everything. Wasn't thinking about all the little details for the week, so apologies to all for that. All right, Duke Crew, what say you? Let me scroll to the top of the screen and get this going, hopefully. All right, here we go. Jason, Superdome or bust, I agree. Hey, you don't have to win every game in the regular season to get there. You just got to win enough to get into the playoffs, and from there, we'll see what happens. Leonard, what do you got? Good morning, Dan, the Duke Crew. Hope you have a great day. Go Lions. Hey, thanks for that, man. Giving it a try, giving it a go. Hopefully you are having a good one too, my friend. See, Joseph C., what, are you kidding me? Question marks. If Frank goes out, there goes our year. There goes our season. I think we'll be okay, man. Again, it doesn't seem like it's a complete tear. To me, there's no way it could have been that severe because he did play at least 75% of Sunday's game with that torn pec muscle. So my anticipation is, and on top of that, you have the Lions saying he's, day to day, week to week. My guess is he misses this week. My guess is, you then have the bye. Maybe he's out 3 to 4 weeks, something in that range, because if it's a partial tear, my guess is they're just going to rehab the heck out of it. I don't think they're going to do surgery, but I could be wrong. I don't have a full slate of information on it, but Joseph, that's my guess at this time, at least. Trump's, woo, that sucks. Yes, it's not great news at all, but the good part is, hey, trying to find the silver lining in it. Again, he's not going to be out for the season. He's going to be, like I said, my guess is a month. All right, Jason, Marcus Davenport out for the season. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but MCDC did say yesterday, and I played it in that video yesterday, that he thinks he's probably going to be out for the season, but he did also say can't confirm it yet. They're going to do some more tests. Let's see. Joe C. Frank's probably the most important person besides the quarterback on the team. He's a lot more important than Davenport. Yeah, Davenport, I think, and it's no disrespect for Marcus Davenport, but I know I said this earlier. You can't miss what you never had. And he played one game. I thought he played a very good game against the Rams. He didn't play week 2. He played, whatever it was, a quarter Sunday. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a quarter and a half before the injury happened. So I think Pascal, among other people, will be able to step up and give you some similar results. Now, could he go out and sign somebody for depth? I think that's where they probably go from there. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Matthew Betts is the next man up. Let's see, Leonard, the early bye is going to help too many early injuries after the bye. Watch out, exclamation point. Those boys coming. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we all get it. The vast majority of Lions fans, when the season schedule came out, we saw that week 5 bye. Man, that's terrible. It's too early. But now we probably have a different stance on it. So it might have been a blessing. And I do think we more or less later in the year have 2 sub-buys where we don't have 14 days off. We get 10 days off because we play on a Thursday. So I think it's going to end up working out pretty well for us. Moonscar, good morning. Dan of the Dew Crew, starting lineup, exclamation point. Looks like the Lions' true grit will be put to the test this week. Go Lions, 100%. And yes, you're going to have some different people having to fill in. But like we saw when we played Tampa Bay, the Rams, or whoever, your starters are there for a reason. They're that good of a player. But most NFL teams do have some sound backups. And we've been talking about it for months now. The Detroit Lions might just be the deepest team in the NFL. That depth is going to show up in moments like this. So I think it's a big plus for us to having that depth. Leonard, number one, laughing out loud. Hit the like button, fellas. Yeah, if you guys can, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up like button. You guys get it. All helps out a ton. So thank you for that. Let's see, Robert, no more injuries. Yeah, let's try to make it through this week fairly healthy, or at least nothing severe, because you do have the next weekend off. All right, Robert, greetings and salutations. Back at you. Robert, of course he is. Jason, thank you. Jess, greetings and salutations. We went from healthy to beat up in 1 week. We did, man, but a lot of it is, hey, you probably had some of these guys partially beat up or injured before. They just played through it. Sam Laporta, we all get it. He's coming back from a hamstring injury. Hey, on the flip play from St. Brown to Gibbs on the touchdown, his ankle gets rolled. It does sound like it's a minor ankle injury, but injuries happen, and you often have to play through them. So it's unfortunate. Joe C, he's my favorite player on the whole team, exclamation point. Y'all remember what happened when he went out a game or two last season. They tore our butts up. Goff couldn't play without him. Yeah, they're going to have to Scooby-Doo something to make it happen, because I don't think they're going to put him out there this week, although he hasn't been ruled out. Frank Ragnow, that is. I guess it's possible he could play through it and then say, hey, I got the next week off. When it comes to Frank Ragnow, I don't rule anything out because he is that dude. All right, let's see. Bo, good morning, Dew Crew. Fit the Grit gang. There you go. I see Super Bowl. Woo! And good morning to you too, Bo. Clark, greetings and salutations, everyone. Any idea how long Frank will be down? Question mark. Sounds like Barnes will be gone for a while. Barnes, I'm guessing a month and a half with the knee injury, although I don't know what's going on with the knee. I'm just basing on what MCDC said yesterday in his presser. He said he's going to be out of a significant amount of time. Ragnow, he said, he didn't talk about that because I don't think the news was out during the presser. It came more like 8 o'clock last night. He did come out, and I'll just say it sounds like Ragnow is going to be on a week-to-week basis. I'll just round it out with that. Patrick, Frank the Tank will come back with a huge chip on his shoulder and play even better. And the rest of the team will dish out some major pain on our opponents. Yeah, I think this week, hey, we can all say what we want. Every game's the same in the NFL, but we all get that. Whether you're Pop Warner football, high school football, college football, or NFL football, it's not all the same. The Lions players know that during this regime, we're 0-3 against the Seattle Seahawks. The coaches know that. The Seahawks know that. This is going to be a game. I think you'll see some of the best efforts of the season from these guys because nobody wants to go 0-4 against them. On top of that, they're 3-0. You're 2-1. It's a meaningful game for both teams. I think, you're going to see a real dogfight Monday night, and I think we're seeing a lot of setups for the Lions. Things they've been working on the first 3 weeks. Set up, show the Seahawks something here. It's a little misdirection there. I think it's going to be a good game for the Lions. Eddie, if Rags is gone 2 to 4 weeks, who takes over for him? That's the big hole to fill. I think it's going to be Glasgow, but I could be wrong. That's it's just speculation on my part. Silver Server, good morning, Coach, and everyone else. Back at you. Hopefully you're having a great day. Joseph C. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was out a lot more than 2 to 4 weeks when he tore his pec. Yeah, but his was a complete tear. So that's, to me, Joseph, I think that's the difference. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, while he did play the rest of that game with that torn pec, I think it's just my speculation. I think since it's a partial tear, not a full tear, he'll be back sooner. And the Lions are listing him as week to week also. So where Gardner-Johnson, they came out and said, he's gonna go on the IR. So all right, let's see. Silver Server, Glasgow center, Oswaka left guard. They are going to be all right. Yeah, I agree with that. Joseph C. But Graham Glasgow took over last time. Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking he'll slide over there. But I've been wrong before. Maybe they'll put Panay Sewell there. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Moonscar, Glasgow will move to center. Skipper or Mahogany to guard, in my opinion. But I think that's what will happen. Time to stomp Geno and the Seahawks. There's a lot of options. We'll probably have a pretty good idea come tomorrow when camp opens up, or not camp, but practices open up. The guys get back on the field and such. They're going to start working with whatever lineup adjustments they're going to make. They're going to do that tomorrow. That way they get tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and then maybe even a walkthrough Saturday to get the new lineup set up. So they're going to do everything they can. All right, Franz, good day all. Next man up, exclamation point. Unlike C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Frank has a partial tear, not a complete one, and he played nearly the whole game with it, so I have to believe it's a minor rip. Yeah, for him to play that position, I think if it was an egregious tear, I'm not sure he could have done it, but I don't rule out Frank Ragnow from anything, especially after last year's playoffs. Moonscar Silver Sir. Oh, yeah, Oswaka forgot about him, and he played well last year when called upon. Yeah, I thought run blocking-wise, he was fine. It was pass blocking where I thought he was a little dicey, but he did get better throughout the year. Joseph, y'all do remember what happened to Jared Goff when Frank Ragnow went out last year, right? Yeah, and I get it, man. But, hey, you got to believe that they can do better this year. I'd say, Trey, what's good all? Question mark. Yeah, Silver, I think you're right on about Oswaka and Glass moving around. Yeah, it could. And then they're going to have other options as well. It will be interesting to see tomorrow in practice who emerges to take those spots. Robert, are the Lions playing too intense? And is that going to shorten every Lions playing career? I think it's just football, man. I mean, I haven't watched their practices, so I can't say if they're, egregiously over the top versus this team or that team. I just think it's football. Frank Ragnow, I don't mean this in a bad way, but he's been in the league for a while, so his body, especially as a center or an offensive lineman, your body's been pounded on. Him, Decker, they're not young, they're not old, but they're at the point in their careers where those hits, that grind is starting to take in a toll on them. So, what you can do to really stop it or remove some of it, probably not much at their positions. Sort of like defensive linemen. Once those hits happen, use the old Bill Parcells analogy. Once that tread starts coming off the tire, it ain't ever coming back, and it's the unfortunate part of any football player's career. All right, Tori, football players get injured every week. Tough sport to play. I agree with that. I agreed 100%. It is tough. Robert, Super Bowl or bust? Ouch. There we'll go with that. Robert, 100% injury rate. Yes, nobody makes it out alive. Everybody gets beat up a little bit. See, Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Heading to the gym and listening in. We have a lot of depth on this team. That's going to aid us in weeks like this. Yeah, I'll go with that 100%. That's why they built so much depth, to help overcome injury concerns when they will arise. John King, injuries are part of the business. Backup players are often the difference. Most teams are about equal with starters. Yeah, I'd say that's a fairly fair analogy. Good call on that, John. Robert, Jason, does Minnesota have this many injuries? Not yet, but at some point, you heard people talking about us against the Rams and the Buccaneers. Man, you guys are scapegoats, whatever. They're all beat up. You're not. It's law of averages. It's going to happen to every NFL team at some point. Nobody is excluded. Broski Barry, hey, man, it's been a minute, man. Good to see you. It's not a surprise that Davenport didn't last long. Will Houston get the nod, or will the Lions explore a trade? Question mark. There's no way Brad Holmes could have been relying on Davenport to last the season. No, I mean, as far as a trade, I know I did a video on it yesterday, Broski. There are some options out there. I did point out in the video, I think a lot of them are unrealistic. I don't think we're going for Max Crosby. I don't think Hassan Reddick is somebody we're going to go after. Are the Lions going to make a call, kick some tires on some guys? Probably. That's what Brad Holmes does. I just don't think we're going to address it that way. Houston, based on what I'm seeing the first 3 weeks and what the Lions seem committed to doing with their front four, I don't think he's going to get out there. Not unless it's like an obvious, second and long passing situation, third and long. Then, because of the injury, maybe he gets some run. But we all get it. Houston's great again at the quarterback. He's not great against the run. The Lions seem committed from a defensive personnel standpoint. We're going to stop the run at all costs and force you to be one-dimensional. Let's see. Robert Broski's back. It appears so, yes. Bo, there was a time when we couldn't afford to lose any of our starters, lose a guy, and we were done. Things have changed. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Like somebody else said, Lions, most teams' starters are fairly similar. It's when you get into the depth that really shows up how deep a team is and how long they're going to be able to sustain. Robert, but is it the real Broski? That I don't know. Papa Noel, Broski's back. It seems so. Joseph, sorry about the swearing, Coach. No, you're fine, man. But dang, I hate to hear that. I'm sure the rest of us does to him. He's been my favorite player for a while, so everyone have a good day. Yeah, I think he'll be fine, Joseph, man. He might be out a couple games. And over the course of the season, just about every player misses a game or two. You just hope it's not the quarterback. Quentin, greetings, salutations, y'all. I haven't seen Seattle this year. How are they looking? Anyone with some thoughts? I haven't really studied them yet, so I'll have to check on that. So let me get back to you on that, Quentin. Miles Margaret, dang it, coach and crew. We talked depth all off season, but who knew we would need it so soon? Question mark. Good freaking morning. Hey, back at you. Good morning to you too. So, all right, we've got time for our special guest today. You guys all know him. You love him. Let's get to him. All right, he is the Brit with grit. He is the man that, hey, has now tasted a delicious Mountain Dew at least once in his life. Anthony, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, thanks, Dan. Hope you and the Dew crew are all well today.
So late last night, I guess it's been early morning for you, we got news that Frank Ragnow is going to probably miss some time with some form of a tear to his pec. How big of an impact do you think this is going to be on the Detroit Lions offense?
I mean, it's going to be huge, right? It broke about 1 a.m. here just as we were all going to bed, and then we're like, oh, God damn it, because we'd not even realised he was hurt and that he was dealing with anything. And the fact that he managed to get through an entire game on a torn pec and play 3 times as better as any Chicago Bears lineman, Broski, is just testament to how good he is. So, of course, it's going to be a huge loss for us because you've got to rejig the line now. Center's really the one position we don't have depth at. I know everyone says move Graham there, but let's be honest, Graham's not a very good center. We don't really want that. So, yeah, it's tough. Hopefully, it's just a tear. Well, it's not a full tear, it's a partial tear. We've got the bye coming up. It's 3 weeks until the first game after the bye. So you'd like to think that he's going to hopefully be pretty sealed up by then. You know he's tough. He'll not need to be 100% to go and play elite. So, yeah, it's tough for us, though, in the short term.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Frank Ragnow playing at 10% is 100% better than any interior offensive lineman for the Bears. So who do you think, assuming he's going to miss this upcoming Monday, then he's got the bye week and, from there, wait and see. How do you think the Lions juggle the lineup to try to compensate for his loss?
I mean, you only need to you move Graham to center and then you bring in someone at left guard. I mean, you bring in Awashika. This is what we got Awashika for. I have no issues with him coming in for a game or two to play because that's the kind of guy he is. He can give you some good games of relief whilst you've got a starter out hurt. And Graham can do the job all right in his absence. So that's all I'd expect to do. Just move them two. Don't be moving 3 or 4 of them around. You want to keep as much continuity as possible. So I would expect them to start Awashika at left guard, Graham in the middle, everybody else stay as you are. And again, that's still pretty decent offensive line to work behind them. We've got a ton of playmakers that we can get the ball out quick if he is getting pressure. We can do all sorts. We've got good running backs. We can run outside the tackles. There are lots of ways that we can combat this.
Okay. Now let's go on from Frank Ragnow because unfortunately we got some injury news yesterday. Marcus Davenport probably going to be gone for the season. You're the Lions. What do you do to replace him?
We watch the Bengals keep on losing games and then go and raid them for Trey Hendrickson when they're done on the season and the trade deadline's approaching. That's what we do. And before anyone bitches about, oh no, we can't afford to pay him. Yes, we can. We'll be fine. We can afford to pay him. We want to go all in this year. We want to try and win the Super Bowl this year. You go out there and you make a big splash. However, first, give your young guys a chance. Levi is performing incredibly well at the minute. Let him play out there. If he carries on playing well, and Pascal can step up and take role in the rotation, you don't need to make a move like that. But as it stands currently, I would be looking massively towards the trade deadline for help there because we're going to need established vet depth going forward. But Levi's doing fine just for now. So hopefully he can step up again in his absence. Hopefully we'll bring Houston in, give him a few reps, get these guys warmed up and form a decent rotation opposite Hutch. But certainly not the end of the world. And probably this is better for us. We're blooding our own guys in here. Like I say, we've got our own homegrown guy in Levi's playing really well. Let him go out there and dominate.
What do you think the Bengals would want, or in return for Hendrickson in order to acquire him?
A lot. You'd be talking first round. You'd be talking first round picks in there, but it'd be something I'd happily give up for him. I think we have a window, but Super Bowl windows are never guaranteed. Injuries hurt you. You never know when the injury bug's going to hit. You never know if your quarterback's going to go down. Like, this is a very open window for us this season, and we need to make sure that we have a really good go at it. And like I say, with the amount of cap space we've got, with the amount of future cap flexibility we have, you can afford to be a little risky in a year like this and still be all right going forward, because Brad's practice of giving out a lot of one-year deals to guys means that we have a lot of money come off the books. We've always got quite a lot spare. A lot of these new deals we've got on the books, are in their formative years, so they're costing us less at the moment. So there is no reason you can't go out there and say big. Like I say, you give your own young players a chance first. Like I say, if Levi carries on his form up until the deadline, then really you maybe go out and get some rotation behind him, and that's all you need, and you don't need to go high, but you wait and see. But it's a big opportunity for the young guys now that Davenport's out, like Pascal. It's huge for him now. He needs to step up and take his share in the rotation and really show out. This will be big for him. But they always give their own guys a chance first.
I agree with that. Lions defense, kind of a line last year, especially the secondary. This season, though, we've played 3 games. We've kept all 3 teams to 20 or less. How vastly improved, in your opinion, is this defense? And is it legit? Is it a top 10, top 5 defense right now?
The defensive line has been good all year. The secondary, we said it would take some time for the cohesion to come, for, the communication, all that to work. And starting to see it happen now, like especially the second half of this game. But more specifically what he did, because I was whinging about how much he uses zone coverage. You saw the first drive last week. They sat in zone and Kyler picked us apart and they ran us apart. So finally, for the love of God, for the first time in years, they went more man. And how much better did we look with Terrian and Carlton up close on receivers? Yeah, we gave up some DPIs. It was a rubbish call on Arnold. That was offensive pass interference, and I will swear that till the end. But how much better did we look with these 2 guys getting physical with them, making them uncomfortable, not giving Kyler, because there was a lot of times Kyler was running around in the backfield and had nothing to throw at, which allowed our D-line to hem him in and stop him running the ball. It was so much better because we changed the scheme and we allowed our guys, we brought in man coverage guys, and shock horror, when we play more man, we're really good. Who'd have thunk it? Finally, I think the coaching staff have kind of worked it out a little bit, but we're letting these guys go and work. And Terrian, especially in that second half, damn, it was so good. Like, he's learning quick. Like, everyone, I see there's certain members of the media whinging about him, saying we should bench him, etc. It's like, what's he going to learn on the bench that he's not going to learn on the field going through trial by fire? Trial by fire is working with Terry and Arnold, and you can see it on the field. So keep him going. Keep throwing him in against these number ones. Keep making him learn, because it's making him a really good corner really quick. I love the way the defense is going. I love the way the linebackers went in Anzalone's absence. Did you notice Alex Anzalone wasn't playing? I didn't, because Jack Campbell was doing such a great job in his absence. Rodrigo is wonderful. I love him, man. Like, he goes weeks and weeks and weeks without playing serious snaps in the NFL. He sometimes goes a very long time without playing in the NFL. They slot him in. He looks like he's not missed a beat. He looks great. So I love what I'm seeing from the defense at the minute. And that second half was really promising from them.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, Anzalone, while obviously he's a great player for us, keeping him out last week, allows him to fully heal up. I'm anticipating for a return this Monday, which now brings us to the next question. Derek Barnes probably going to miss a little bit of time, probably a month, maybe longer or so, although there's nothing official reported on that. What do you think they do? Do you think you add any more to the linebacker group? Because I feel like we had 700 people added in the offseason who were linebackers to this team. Do you think one of those guys gets called back, added for some depth?
I mean, it's awkward because he plays a position that none of the rest of them do. He plays that Sam linebacker role, and none of the rest of them do. So I don't know. Obviously, you bring another linebacker up for coverage. You've still got Beauplan. sat on the practice squad, and Beauplan was amazing during preseason, and to bring him in as your last guy, that's really good depth to have. I think you've just got to withdraw his role more than anything, because you're just not going to find anybody who does what he does. I mean, maybe you call up Ukwu, maybe someone like that, and you try and get him to do it, but he is a UDFA, so it's a lot to put on his shoulders. So I just think you go for the more traditional linebacker, bring them up, and just change the way you play it about, because the D-line's doing that good. You don't need a Sam to go with them. You can just come up, blitz your corners, blitz your safety, do something a little different instead. But I'd certainly look at bringing Beauplan up for depth. But you got Neiman in there. Like, the depth is really good. Malcolm looks great. Jack's in there. Alex is back. So you've still got 3 good linebackers in that room, and you've got good depth. So I am worried. Obviously, this is Barnes. It's a contract year, and he's looking so good. It's such a shame to lose him, but we have the depth to cover that one in terms of the linebackers, but not his position. You just got to withdraw that role.
Okay, I'll go with that. Now let's talk about the offense, because, hey, the last few years, this offense has been explosive, scoring points, one of the higher scoring teams in the league. This year, though, not so much. What do you think we've got to do to get this offense back to scoring 27, 28 points a game?
You've got to, it was noticeable in this game. Like, we were so good in the first half. We scored on every drive, but in the second, obviously, false start penalties, which killed the first drive. Then you got an interception, which killed the drive. And then it was us stopping the drives in the first. Again, I was a bit perplexed as to how we got so many false start penalties, because it was a pro-Lions crowd. It was quieter for us on snaps, but you've just got to cut out those silly errors, and you've got to cut out the predictability of the play call. Like, you've got bad play calls. When you're on first down, don't call a double reverse that puts you 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage when it doesn't work, because then you're just playing from behind. Then he started going back to the two power runs up the middle type thing, and it's like teams figure you out with this. We talked about this against the Bucks. We were too predictable. We try and run the ball down people's throat in the face of a stacked box. And You've got to be better than that. People want to play Lions football, but we've got to open up the field so we can play Lions football. For Ben, sometimes that defense shrunk in the second half, which is not good. When it shrinks and stacks the box, we can't play as well. In the first half, we were taking shots downfield. We kept them open, allowed us to play our natural game. So tactically, Ben's got to get better, and the play call has just got to get a little bit more inventive, because runs down the middle, as I say, negative plays. We were getting negative plays, putting ourselves behind the chains. We're not good there. So that's how you've got to do it better. You've just got to carry on being aggressive. You've got to carry on being inventive about what you do, like we did in the first half, and that's how you get on with it.
So one thing I've noticed, and I'd be eager to get your thoughts on this, Anthony, it seems like Ben Johnson, I get he wants to be creative. I get he wants to catch defenses off guard. But I also understand in each of the first 3 games, like you alluded to, we run a lot of trickeration plays, gimmick plays behind the line of scrimmage, and now it is 2nd and 17, 2nd and 15, or whatever that ends up being. Do you think maybe Ben Johnson is kind of overthinking things and needs to make some adjustments to get rid of so many losses for gain on first down?
Yeah, exactly. And then that's what you've got to do, because you come out of the half and it's sluggish. You've got to come out with a high tempo. We almost come out and we're like, okay, let's just do some basic stuff. Let's just get back into the scheme of things again. You can't. The best OCs are chess players. Ben Johnson is not a chess player right now. He's a highly intelligent man, but a chess player has to be on it for 100% of the game to win the game. And in his case, he's on it for about 60% of the time, 70% of the time. But then defenses make adjustments, and he doesn't seem to readjust to it. Like I say, the Cards shrunk their defense in the second half. They started stacking the box, and Ben's got to look at that and we bring J-Mo in. Where was J-Mo in this game after 2 very good games? Why are we not pinning them back? Why are we not taking shots downfield to lighten that box again? Instead, he's just like, no, we ran the ball over them in the first half. We're going to run the ball over them again. Well, it doesn't work that way, Ben. He's going to bring his defense up. He's going to bring his safeties up. He's going to scramble that box for you. And the trouble is, when the defense is that congested, when you start putting plays behind the line of scrimmage, they're very close to you. They can shut those plays down very quickly. And in that congested amount of space, it's hard to pull off. It's hard to get space for your running backs and your wide receivers to make big plays. So you've got to adjust to that. And that's his problem at the minute. He's not adjusting to when guys figure him. Like I said, chess player, you can't just have the same plan A all game. You've got to deviate between plan A and plan B, whichever suits the current situation, which is his problem. So the second he figures that out and he stops being so stubborn, just trying to play our way all the time, then we will score lots of points on a regular basis.
All right, real quick, just because I know I don't want to keep you all day here, but as you look at this Monday matchup, it's going to be a big one for both teams. They come in obviously 3-0. We're 2-1. Lions, hey, they've lost to Seattle for, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 years or whatever it's been now. What do the Lions have to do, in your opinion, to get this matchup, get a win going into the bye?
This D-line's got to play as well as it has been this year, because I remember last year, like, we went up against them and they got 2 rookie tackles on the team, and you're like, right, there's your bullseye. Rookie tackles, overwhelm them, hit Geno, stop that offense playing. We didn't lay a finger on him. And that was the issue. We gave him too much time in the pocket to be able to pick us apart. Plus, we were playing that stupid zone coverage stuff, which they just absolutely exploited the hell out of. So this time, you've got to make if you pressure Geno because Kyler Murray's a great dual threat quarterback with his legs. He can get out of most situations where he's pressured. If you pressure like you did against Murray against Geno Smith, you're going to sack him 6 or 7 times because he does not have that ability to get out of the pocket there. Right. So you've just got to be aggressive against him, stop him running. Because I've no issue. Our run defense, I would put a sizable amount of money on now that no one's going to rush over 100 yards on us this year. It is that good right now, and we are forcing them through the air. So you've got to combine that with harrying the quarterback and making him make stupid throws because he's not playing so well at the minute. So that's what we got to do. We got to shut their offense down. That's always been the Achilles heel for us, is we've let that offense dominate us. But we've got a secondary now which is better. We allow them to carry on playing the way they did against the Cardinals because, you know, DK's physical. They got a really good group of guys there. But if you make them uncomfy, you bring them into a slugfight, they're going to struggle. So that's what we got to do. We just got to be aggressive against them. And then the offense, you know, they've got to put together a full game. They've got to keep fluidly adapting what they do and exploiting that. We have more than enough players to keep finding weak spots on that defense and just keep hammering away at it until they change, and then we change, etc. So that's where we're at with them. And just more importantly, we just need to outlast them. We get this win off our back, it's huge, and we go into the bye happy bunnies.
Yeah, I agree with you there, especially, you know, in the last couple of years, I really think their wide receivers have tortured us. So hopefully the new secondary, I mean, this will be a test. You want to see how much we've really improved versus prior years, see what we do against DK, etc. So, all right, Anthony, why don't you go ahead and wrap this one up? Tell everybody where they can find you, your great work, all about, you know, you and the guys. So give it a go.
Yeah, appreciate you, Dan, and the Duke crew as always. Thanks for having me on. You can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We're a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond. So if you want to come and check out Lions news from a British perspective, then please do so. We're live on Mondays. We're live on Thursdays. I do a college show on Wednesdays. If you want to talk some college ball, we do all sorts. So yeah, find me at Roar of the Lions UK. And I say, appreciate you all. Hope you have a great Victory Tuesday. We just have victory days all day of the week because we're just that great. And you know, celebrate the Bears bottom of the NFC North. King Poles will never let that go.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. Hopefully you find a way to have another good Mountain Dew. And, hey, see you on the next one, man.
Take care, all. Bye.
See you, Anthony. All right, that was Anthony from Lions, the Roar UK. So make sure you check him out, subscribe, check out his great work. He and the guys really do great work. So, all right, let's get back over to the comment section, see what you guys have to say. Pierce, Bo, just what I would do, give Yodi more help with Sewell. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, make that move. Kurt, in Hank we trust. You got to believe in Hank with the tank. Bo, a lot of heavy sets against Seattle. I think that's probably what they're going to do. That's just what the Lions are going to be this year. Pound the ball more, use a lot more multiple tight end sets, etc. Could be also, the Lions might have anticipated that coming in. That's why we only kept initially 4 wide receivers and so many tight ends. Let's see, Erica, next man up, grit. Let's go, 100%. I like the way you're thinking. Hey, everybody gets injured. Now, who's the next person with an opportunity here? Are they going to step on up? See, Phil, will the Lions offer Monty a contract extension? We'll have to wait and see. I think he's got 1 year left after this one. So somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say he signed for 3 years. Rob, that buy is looking good right about now. If we can be above 500 going into Game 7, I think we'll be okay. But the next 3 to 4 games will test our depth. It will, man. And I do think, man, you beat Seattle. We pull that one off, and that's gonna be a tough one. You go into that bye week. Now you got 2 weeks to prepare for Dallas. Get healthy, get right. Man, the Cowboys defense you all probably get is struggling a little bit. Maybe the Lions take advantage of it a bit. See, Derek, good morning, coach and crew. Holmes needs to stop chasing ambulances for football players. It's like he's getting a list of available players from Call Sam. Maybe that is where he's getting his inside information. I had not considered that, Derek, but you're probably spot on with it. Vape, Dan's Lions don't lose twice in a row to any team. Seattle is in trouble. They will be 3-1 after Monday night. And if, we pull that off, we're going to probably feel pretty good about this start of the season. Rams, Buccaneers, Arizona, and then Seattle, that's a tough 4. And you can see across the NFL, there's a whole lot of teams, either 1-2 or 2-1. The difference between either scenario, though, is usually just a couple plays. I don't really think there's too many teams just getting destroyed this year. Don, Seattle barely beat Pats and Broncos. We definitely can beat this team! Exclamation point. Goff just has to hit the open man. JMO is open more than often. Yeah, and see what they do. I think the offense is getting better and better just as they get more reps. And let's also be fair, it is a new offense versus what we ran the last few years, at least the vast majority. We don't run the same sets the majority of the times like we had the past couple years. Trumps, a few more weeks. Arnold should be even better with less penalties. Yeah, I think we're on the same page there. You're seeing it was painful opening day. But, hey, he went against a future Hall of Fame player that was as healthy as he's going to be probably all season, maybe the rest of his career. And you know what? Learning opportunity. Week 2, learning opportunity. Week 3, they might not have the same level yet of receivers that the other 2 teams did, but I thought he did well. It'll be real interesting to see what this secondary does Monday night. Miles Barker, Franz, like your optimism? You have to, man. You got to be positive, right? Let's see. Hookadoo, morning, Miles Barker. Let's see, back at you both. Kurt Steele, I'll give you my thoughts on all the injuries and the roster options at 8 a.m. 100% with that. Head over to the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast after this one. Sarge, let's see. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Hope you all have a great one. Exclamation points. Woo! Back at you, Sarge. See, Bo, Brock Ray, and Skipper in 12-man sets. Yeah, probably. We'll probably go heavy a lot. So, Miles Barker, great. Kurt Steele, I need an update to my list. There you go. Chuck E. Cheese, 2 intense, question mark. Have you ever played? It's 1 speed only. Yeah, you have to be, man. Either that or you will get ran over. The Trim Reaper, wish we had Max Crosby to help Hutch destroy the record books. Hey, anything's possible. I know I said it's somewhat possible, but I don't see that one happening. I could be totally wrong. Maybe we get some news today. Say, Don, a vape, we've already lost to Seattle twice. They've won the last 2 matchups. Yes, and now we need to make sure it's not 3. All right, Chuck E. Cheese, there's no team that's healthy right now? No, I agree with that. If you played NFL football for nearly a month, you're a little beat up. Bo, players get hurt more often. They aren't going full speed. Yeah, 100%. Rob, most every team goes through spurts like this. Kind of expected with our depth. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, and that's why we had such a focus to detail on depth. So I think you're spot on, Rob. Hey, Vape, Detroit's backups are starters on any other team. We'll be fine. Super Bowl is looking great. Woo! I like the way you're thinking. Amy, good morning, Dan. Duke Crew, exclamation points. Any word on Alex Anzalone, question mark? Glad you seem to be feeling better. Our Lions will get this together. Hi, Broski Bear. Welcome back. No, I think we'll probably get some updates on Anzalone, tomorrow or whatever. But my thought is, Amy, he was out there practicing Wednesday and Thursday and Friday last week. He's probably good to go this week. T-Bone Lokes, agreed, Coach. I don't think we'll go for a big free agent signing. No, I don't think so. We'll probably in-house, maybe make a trade, something like a 7th, 6th round pick for somebody for some depth, but that'd be about as much as I would see. Chuck E. Cheese, Seattle looks really good. They do. And let's hope we can knock them to 3-1. Drops 3-0. Yes, they are. Dominic, good morning from Texas. Back at you, Dominic. Hopefully you're having a great one. Pierce, Seattle loves to run the ball and play action. Did just beat a battered Miami team into the dirt. Yeah, and let's hope we can beat them down. If they want to run on us, it's going to be a test for us. Rob, I haven't watched Seattle, but they are 3-0. They are. And hopefully that O has got to go. See, Hookadoo, the Ant-Man from across the pond, good morning, 100%. Bo, the Brit with grit, exclamation point, good morning. Lions brother from across the pond. Seattle have a good D-line. Yes, they do. Chuck E. Cheese, I think Ragnow plays this week. Man, wouldn't that be something if he does? Brent Anthony, One Pride, Worldwide. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Kurt Steele, the sky is not falling. A lot of teams are dealing with injuries right now. Look at the 49ers. They are, man. They are indeed. See, Dominic Hitler played some center too. Oh, all right. We'll go with that. JK, thank God, thank goodness for our depth. Injuries, yes. Key, JK, this is seriously when Brad Holmes is flexing the most. This is where we are most thankful for him the most, or at least one of the times. I'll go with that. JK, Key, I know, right? Let's see. Moonscar, Joseph C, Motown Mitch. That's all I was saying. Go ahead and fire back. Just don't keep it going overboard. Hex, I love smack talk. You guys know me. Dan just doesn't want to keep reading. Okay, fair enough. Bo, absolutely spot on, Ant-Man. TA is getting better every play, it seems like. Yeah, he is, man. Like most of the rookies across the league. I know, every rookie in the league will get better the more they're on the field. See, Phil, 44, 100%. Pierce, I think we are set at backer. Yeah, I would agree. Bo, go with the Bo plan, man. I knew you were going to probably be all over that. Pierce, I'm not going to try and spell his last name, but you need Yankee off the edge. Okay, yeah, and we'll have to look at that. Anthony, what's it? Ravens signed him? Okay, well, that's unfortunate then. Broski, not a bad thought by the Brit regarding the DE situation. However, if you truly believe this is a Super Bowl run type of season, I'm trying to pull off a trade for Crosby or Hendrickson now. Man, both of them are going to be costly, but I know Anthony talked about it. It might be time to pull that trigger. Pierce, thanks, Anthony. I must have missed that. It happens, man. Phil, second half offensive deficiencies continue. Yeah, they've got to improve upon that. Agreed. See, Pierce, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Starters need some run in the preseason. Shake the rust off quicker. The starters really just finished preseason. I'm not worried. Yeah, let's see if they can continue to shine. Let's see, Phil, hook and ladder was downfield. Lions are thinking of that. Yeah, I just think they need to do more of that instead of behind the line of scrimmage stuff. See, Brent, morning, broski. Nice to see you back. There you go, Brent. Good morning, sir. A-Vape, Skipper to guard, and Glasgow to center. Leave Sewell alone. Yeah, I don't think they're going to move Sewell up in A. See, Bo, have a good day there, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Miles Murray, thank you. Lions Roar UK, Anthony. There you go. JK, Ant-Man, the Britton. There you go. Tay Main, what do you got? Let's go Detroit. I was at the game with my woman. Hey, hopefully you had a great time, my friend. It probably was. It seems like it was a sea of blues, so hopefully you had a lot of good people to hang out with. Kim, pathetic not to score in the second half. We looked for players to improve. It's time to play for play calling second half to improve. I agree. They gotta get points in the second half. Put that game away, not keep the other team around. Phil Broski is a GOAT. There you go. Let's see. Amy, boy, that bye week is truly coming in at a perfect time this year. It truly couldn't be planned better. No, it's looking like a blessing to us. Chris, hated the bye week. Now I love it. Hey, how quickly things can change in the world of professional wrestling. Phil, do we have the fourth tight end? We do. We do have four tight ends. Let's see. Dan, what's he? Darn it. The only time I get to comment, Dan can't read it because of the guest. Next time. Hey, I got a comment for you. Well, at least I read this one. So it happens, man. Let's see. Bo, Monty in year 2 of 3 of contract. Okay, yeah. So he's got one more after this season. So I was close. Phil, I thought 2 years for Monty. At least I had heard that. Okay. Seattle is solid, says Chris. I agree. See, Miles, Dan, let's see, bummer, bro. It happens, man. At least I got the second comment. Bo, Skipper is the fourth tight end. Now, that's probably accurate. See, Bo, I've been wrong before, Phil. Yeah, it happens, man. Haven't we all? See, Dan, the only time I wake up early at Miles Marker. Hey, at least I'm getting a couple of your comments here. Phil, the only weak NFC North team is Chicago. Right now, correct. Let's see. Phil, boss up, ball out. I couldn't agree more. Miles Marker, hooks, yeah. Just say, yeah, morning. All right, fair enough. Trumps, we have to take a couple deep shots. I agree. Expand the field. A Trim Reaper, Myles Garrett, maybe? Now, wouldn't that be something? Man, you put him on this D. Woo! Miles Marker, Hookadoos, hey, just saw you. Good morning. Broski, Amy Spray, just seeing your message now. I hope you have a great day. Hopefully you both have a great day. Phil, will Branch be clear to play by Monday? You're going to have to wait and see if he gets past protocol. Trump's no shame in losing Pete Carroll. No, Pete was a good guy and a former USC guy. Let's see, Bo, Pete is gone. Should be interesting. Yeah, new coaching staff there now. Trump's, didn't know that. Yeah, he's gone. He's retired now. Chris Zettler at center. We'll see. Bo knows the plan. Yeah, the Bo know plan. Corey can't be rust from the preseason this long. Let's hope not. Let's see. Dave Durham just woke up. Grit. Yeah, well, hey, welcome to the show. It's late, but hey, at least you made it. See, Thomas, I do not play Ragnow this week. Give him 3 weeks to heal. Yeah, I'm guessing they're probably going to give him this week off and the bye week, but we'll have to wait and see. Gary Green, salutations, coach and Duke crew. Could the Lions do a Michigan change and run? Keeping DK and Geno off the field would be imperative. Yeah, could they go with all runs? It is possible. JK, happy trails, go Lions victory. Broski, Phil, considering that Branch was sleeping on the field, I doubt he plays Monday. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see, Joseph, rooting for injury, Broski, not cool. Bo, happy trails, y'all. Done dusted. See you later. Lions Super Bowl, bring Max Crosby home. One Pride players go out. All the players I got hurt going. Good morning, Duke crew. Woo! And good morning to you too. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get out of here. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. You guys know it helps the channel out a lot. Otherwise, take care. Enjoy your day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. We'll see you on the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.
Happy trails.